Welcome back to South Louisiana. So let's get in and get our work done. Ever since they've upgraded to the 1.3 patch, the game is not running as smooth as it should. You get little lag moments all over the place. Not sure how they do it. There you are. Like, they're supposed to have optimized the game to run better, but the game is not running better, not even close. Like, it ran better before. This is so annoying. Alright, let's go and get ourselves some work to do. Okay, so finished collecting the rocks of this field, and now we're planting our barley. Due to the month of where we are, barley or wheat, or we can still plant canola, I suppose, and that's it. Oh, we can still plant rye, right? Yep. Okay, so we might look at doing rye, because it looks like we're gonna do rye now and harvested rye April and May. Okay, this gives us a little bit more options than the standard in-game, which is fantastic. Okay, looks like for whatever reason the worker decides not to do the headlands. So it looks like we're going to have to come and do the headlands after he's finished, which not quite sure why he's doing that. But hey, those other cards you get dealt, you deal with it later. Okay, so what stage are our fields at? Let's have a quick look. Okay, still don't have the numbers on, which really is annoying. So we've got our fields, which, if we look at them, these ones have been harvested and plowed, I should say, not harvested, and they're in a position at the moment of, wow, that's a lot of rocks that we need to collect, and these two fields being left as grass because we're going to do some mowing and obviously get ourselves into a position to feed our animals. So let's get out of here, going back into our tractor over here, and take him to start collecting some rocks of those two fields that we've just looked at. We're gonna need to come and fertilize these what did you stop working for? Oh, I was gonna say, alright, I'll bring it and fill him up, and then we'll get him to turn him off for now. Okay, so this guy here has finished. I'm still trying to sort of get myself around the map, used to the map. So it looks like we could, wrong button. We can go this way, looks like it, to our fields. Okay, so this is our four rice fields. And, alright, how do we go back home? Please don't tell me I gotta go through the field. This reminds me of my cotton farming day many years ago. And if cotton farms here in Australia anyway, they're flooded, irrigated, which I'm assuming that it's similar all over the world. So a lot of the fields were exactly like this. You would have massive fields, obviously not like this, and they would be surrounded at one end or two ends, depending on how they were positioned, by dams. And on the other ends, obviously, they would have like this little hills, or whatever you would call it, to obviously stop the water. And the field would be pointed in such a way that after the water would go to a certain point, which would be collected in again and put back. That dog's annoying. If they ever do an update on the map, they should get rid of that dog. Like, I don't mind a little bit of barking, but every time you come by, he barks and barks and barks and barks. Yeah, so this kind of reminds me of that. Obviously, where we worked wasn't as green as what you see it here. But, and this is where I feel the guys, they're stuck with no seed. So I'm gonna have to go and buy some seed. And I think we better go this way. we still haven't unloaded all our equipment, which we will obviously. We still got the roller here, which I don't know if we're going to use that roller, but we'll leave it there for now. Okay. So, you know, this is one big shed, but I just realized that we are going to struggle as far as storage is concerned, because this is it. I got a little bit on the other side, but this is pretty much it. We've fertilized everything, did we not? Okay, we got one more pass. Okay, we might as well do that while we're here as well. Oh. Okay, now let's floor it to the max and see if it makes it over the hill. Come on, make it over the hill. Make it. Oh, I didn't make it over the hill. Okay. Now we know why he's kind of stuck there. I was wondering why wouldn't he have finished it? He had plenty of time to finish it, but that's why. Our workers weren't smart enough to do this. Let's get this done. And this way we can finalize this job. Yep, all taken care of. And it looks like again the headlands have been missed. Have they? Or is okay, we're gonna need to use a bigger tractor obviously for this, because it doesn't seem to enjoy doing this. This two-wheel drive. But we will deal with it later, obviously. Now, has this been... Yep, all taken care of. Why? Oh. Come on, you can do it. No, you can't. It uses very little fertilizer, doesn't it? No, it's all done. So let's try and get up on the hill this way and take you home as well and park you there until we need you next time, which is not at this stage. How is the in-cab view? Yeah, I remember this. I hate the way this so-called optimization seems to ruin the game, not make it better. I've noticed that they still haven't fixed whatever issues with the numbers on the field. You'd think that they would have fixed that. I mean, after all, they knew about it. And yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Otherwise, I may end up, you know, talking about that instead of concentrating on enjoying the game. So we are gonna plant rice over here at the right time. We are gonna come and obviously get rid of the rocks from the field and prepare the field. Now, I've noticed that I do follow a farmer from somewhere in America. I'm trying to think of where he is. If I remember, I'll let you know. But he's a farmer on YouTube that does rice. Oh, that dog again. And I've noticed how he does it. Like they plow and then they cultivate the field really smooth. And then they flood it and they plant the rice by aeroplane. Obviously, I don't have an aeroplane to plant the grass, so the rice. So I'm not going to follow down that path. But I am going to. Well, actually, I can't. I was just going to say I am going to cultivate it, but I can't because the rock picker cultivates it. And if I do any more, if I cultivate it, I wonder if it brings back the rocks back up. And I definitely don't want to pick up the rocks, cultivate it, and then pick up the rocks again. So sadly, we're going to have to miss a state. But they do. I've noticed when he prepares his fields, that they do cultivate it quite a bit. So it's not just a one cultivation, you know, piece of cake, here you are type of thing. It is, from what I've noticed, is they do actually go quite a lot out to make it as smooth as humanly as smooth as possible. Which, you know, I'm assuming rice, it is a very small seed, so I'm assuming that, you know, you would need to do that. What's going on? Oh, there's bees. Okay, we'll leave you here for now, where we don't need you. We haven't as yet. Yeah, we should have, but we haven't. We don't need you. I bought myself the American Ford Muscle. All right, now. Oh, I haven't done that yet. Okay, that's okay. I should have bought some seed and come here with the Ford and filled up this particular seeder over here, and we will do that obviously, but let's go set this guy up to do the work, to collect the rocks, and then we will go back and fill up our seeder so the worker's not just sitting there waiting for us. Yeah, so I've done a mod review on cow farm. I'm actually considering on taking that up as my dairy farm instead of Calmsden farm. So I haven't made a decision as yet, but that's kind of where my mind is being set, going in that direction. Purely because that's the purpose of me doing Calmsden farm, is exactly the purpose of just concentrating on being a dairy farm. Now, if the map already exists, I thought to myself, I wonder if it'd be smarter for me to just just do that instead of trying to build a dairy farm, if that makes sense. Create job, go back over here. Okay, open 1, number of headlands, 2. Do I need anything else? What's the 5 meter? No, it's a lot more than 5 meters. We'll put it 9 meters. And that looks about right. Okay, a bit on an angle all the time, but hey, maybe I should have done 3 headlands then, if he's gonna go on in that angle. Okay, that's a little bit better. First waypoint, but we all know that he's not gonna start from the first waypoint, because over here is gonna be the nearest. I'll just keep an eye on him, make sure that he starts where he should start. Yep. Alright, well, we'll let him do his work. Alright, big American. The only downside to this truck is obviously no trailer hitch, which is a bit surprising. I mean, you got this monster of a truck. How do you not have a trailer hitch on it? But anyway. Okay. We are gonna obviously put super strength on. Where are you, super strength? Whoa, slow down. I mean, in real life this would be 4 tons. I doubted that this truck would be able to handle 4 tons. As you can see, it is quite bouncy. But hey, it's alright. Okay, so we're gonna need to be very careful at taking. Okay, we're gonna take that sign with us. So yeah, we're gonna need to be very, I hate this lag. Very careful with we're taking corners of any sort. At least speed is there, no problema with the speed. And we will need to pull in just up ahead. So let's start indicating after we go off this driveway, hey? At least that way the people behind us are aware, hey, this guy's gonna pull in. I do have mass floaters on it. Can I wonder. I'm gonna try something that I probably shouldn't try, but hey, it looks like it does. You know what I was gonna try, right? I was gonna try and see if I can fill that up straight by just pressing the button, but then I thought, you know what? Maybe it's not the best idea. Alright, we'll fill it up this way. I'm not quite sure how much seed it takes. I should have looked. But I think it'll take more than 2,000 liters, that's for sure. Let's have a look. Yeah. But I think that should be plenty for them. Oh, close the covers. Okay. Let's get our ute out of here. You know what, I'm gonna leave you here just in case, but I don't think it'll take 2,000 liters to do this little amount of work. So we're gonna take him home. Famous last words. 10 minutes from now I'll be like, I need more seed. It is a little bit unstable on the road, this truck. But hey, how can you say no to a truck that looks like this? Now this is exactly the standard colors that it comes in, so I haven't done anything to it. I could have changed obviously the colors, but I haven't, so yeah.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Now I don't think we're going to put barley in the next field, because otherwise it's going to end up being a fairly, I don't know, same type of thing, and I don't want it to be like that. So we're going to put rye, I believe, since we can put rye at this stage. Actually, before we make a decision on that, let's have a look at the charter over here. So if I plant rye, which I can plant it now, I'll harvest it in April, May. Okay, so I'm gonna have to plant right now, so I can then in May, I would assume that'd be ready in April. May, I would have to plant rice on those two fields. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. So since it's our game speed is ×1, actually looks like over there he's missed as well, so I might as well unfold it and fix that little bit at the top. if the different shade of color tells me the truth, most likely he looks like he missed this little bit over here. I don't understand what's going on. Have you not been... It doesn't... I press V, but it doesn't want to go down. Maybe it's my keyboard that's the problem. It's a bit old. Maybe it needs to be replaced. Alright, so we'll fix this little bit. And looks like everything else, with the exception of that little small tiny strip that we missed. But we're not going to bother with that. Alright, I'll see you on the next field. Okay, so we've set up the worker to collect the rocks off the next field. And at the same time, we are on this field here planting rye. It's gonna be good for us with rye, something a little bit different, but at the same time we'll still be able to plant rice in these fields after we have harvested the rye. We're gonna have to move quick, but we should be able to do it. I thought about you know, with everything that's happening in the world today, with all the I don't know, uncertainty, I suppose, to a degree, you can say, what's happening in the world today. I thought I may share with you a couple of things about, you know, the stress, the worries that could come with everything that's happening, especially if you're in Europe. You know, for people that are way out of Europe, we may think that, you know, we're not really affected. I mean, I have relatives in Europe, and I have relatives in countries that are, even though they're NATO members as per se, they're right there next to everything that's happening right now, right next to Russia and right next to Ukraine. So, you know, in all of us, when we see things like that and we have loved ones, especially if you have loved ones in the area, you start to creep and you start to wonder, you know, what's going to happen to my loved ones. Their safety starts to become an issue to you. You know, we might have friends that say, yeah, don't worry, everything will work out all right. And, you know, it's generally a good advice, worrying and stressing. Even Jesus Christ said that with all the stressing and with all the worrying, humans can't change anything. At the end of the day, whatever happens, happens type of thing. You can't, by worrying, change anything. So simply sitting at home worrying about what's happening, you can't change anything. Yes, you can give yourself a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow, and according to some medical experts, stress and all that can even cause you personally a lot of harm. You know, things like diabetes seem like heart attacks and strokes and all that sort of stuff. They seem to have a massive, I don't know, you seem to cause it or affect by stress itself. But what can you do? I recently was shown a video on TikTok or YouTube, one or the other, where a guy brings out a fact that happened in World War II, when a lot of the Allied troops were cornered by the German armies due to be destroyed. And they were cornered in such a way where they couldn't really move and they couldn't really fight either. So they were sort of put in a position where pretty much they were waiting to die. And if you'll search in history, you'll find that Churchill at that time called the nation to pray. You know, asked the Allied nations of the time, hey, you know what, pray that God will intervene. I realize that in today's society that we live, it sounds quite strange for people in our leadership to call us to pray, because it seems to be a very foreign ideology today that, you know, that you seek God in the time of need. People have been sort of, I'll go this way. People have been sort of taught that, you know, you solve your own problems, there is no such thing as a God, and whatever happens, happens. And the person that showed me this is actually my wife that showed me this video, said to me, is this true? And I remember seeing the movie, there's actually a movie made on this topic, on this fact. Actually, it's not a topic. And I said, yeah, I've just recently seen the movie on YouTube. I wish I could remember what the movie is called. And I would gladly share it with you. If I remember what the movie is called, I will obviously put it in the comments. And it actually was the case where, Churchill did call out the nation to pray, because they realized that as humans, there is nothing they could do to help their fellow citizens. Not only that, but they were losing, I think it was like 200,000 soldiers. They stood to lose 200,000 soldiers in that particular place. So the only effect that Churchill and the leaders of his time saw is God. Pray that God intervenes. And if you look, God did intervene. God did intervene by the fact that even historians today can't explain why Hitler ordered his forces to stop. Just out of the blue. The forces that were going to destroy these Allied forces stuck there. Hitler orders them to stop. Slow them enough that the weather, 24 hours later or whatever it was, turned for the worst, so the Germans couldn't get there in time. And in the meantime, the whole Allied forces escaped, not by the might of America or England or anyone else for that matter, in tiny little boats. They escaped that area. If you look in the Bible, you will find many times throughout the history of the Hebrew people, the Israelites, where because of their sin, God allowed other nations to punish them for their sin. And you'll find, especially if you read in books like Hosea, that God then punishes those nations, saying, you know what, I've only allowed you or told you to go a certain limit. I've drawn a limit that you could go and punish Israel, but you went beyond that limit. Because you went beyond that limit, God says to those people exactly what's going to happen to them. Now, if you then look in history, you find out that that's exactly what happened to them. So what can you do in times like these? For your loved ones, maybe you have loved ones, or maybe you're worried. You're thinking, well, what if Third World War starts, or things of that nature? The best thing you could do is pray, seek God, and ask God to give you the comfort that you need. I know that probably sounds, to some people that don't know God and have never had experiences with God, I know that probably sounds like, are you kidding me? I'm going to get on my knees, or I'm going to pray to God, and because I pray to God, I'm going to be okay. You know what? Try it out and see. Yes, if you pray to God and if you seek God, God will give you, will come out and answer your prayer. Now, we do learn from the Bible that your prayers can't be selfish. So you can't have a prayer, well, you know what, God, come and do what I want. And then after you've done what I want, I'm just going to go on my merry way. Which is the thoughts of the Israel of the Old Testament. When they were in trouble, they wanted God. When God helped them, well, you know what, we want to do our own little things. So you can't deceive. The Bible tells us that God does not allow himself to be mocked or deceived. What we as humanity sow is what we reap. What we reap now is what we've sowed for a lot of time: corruption, sin, and so on and so on. I get asked a lot by unchristian people, if your God exists, why is there so much suffering? Why is there so much pain? Why doesn't God intervene? That's exactly the mentality of Israel of the Old Testament. We don't want your God when in good times. We just want your blessings. But as soon as we stuffed everything up and everything is now horrible, we want you now to intervene and fix everything back up so we can stuff it back up again, so you can intervene and fix everything back up. And that's the mentality of people that don't know God. It's like your children saying to you, I'm now old enough, I can go get loans and buy fancy cars or fancy this and fancy that. And when I can no longer pay it, you should intervene. But if you dare give me advice on how I should spend my money or how I should save my money, better still, I'm going to tell you, bug off. I'm not interested in listening to your advice. I don't care about your advice. But as soon as, you're needed as a parent, your child will come to you and say, oh, bought a $300,000 car. I can't afford to pay it anymore. Uh, Come and pay for it. So, out of love, out of mercy, let's say you have the money and you go and pay for the $300,000 car. And then as soon as you pay, your son or daughter says to you, you know what, now disappear, go away. And you come up and say, well, hang on a little bit. You've obviously made a mistake because you didn't do the right thing. How about I teach you and help you do the right thing? And your child will say to you, no, not interested, go away. So, with pain, with sorrow, you listen to your children. What else can you do? They're old enough, they make their own decision. A little while later, they come back to you. Oh, guess what? My $300,000 car now is broken. It costs $50,000 to fix. You know what? You're my mom and dad. You should come and fix it. Now, out of love, as a parent, you may do that a number of times, but there will be a time sooner or later where you will say, you know what? You need to learn your lesson, and you need to learn that you can't do that your decisions have consequences. That's exactly the same as with God. God has allowed us to have free will. He told us what we should do, how we should behave, but we have free will. We can choose our destiny, the way we're heading. Now, God says exactly what He said to Israel in the olden days. Choose the right path, and if you choose the right path, you will have the right results. If you choose the wrong path, you will have the wrong results. Many times Israel decided to choose the wrong path. Humanity decided to choose the wrong path. Instead of choosing the path of righteousness, instead of choosing the path of love and respect for one another, humanity has chosen the path of greed, selfishness, and sin. Now, when we are asked to then eat of our own results, we're not happy. We want God, if your God really exists, He should come and fix all these things that I stuffed up. Really? Is that how you teach your children? Is that how you see life as normal? I stuff everything up and somebody should come and clean up after myself. But sadly, that is the selfishness of the last 100 years also, is where, and I'm talking about as a majority, this selfishness has always been like that. People have always thought about themselves. Kings to rule over you and me. And those kings, when they got the power, their behavior was, in a lot of cases around the world, disgusting. But who put them in that power? Who gave them that power? We, the public, did that. So in these times of sorrow, if you find yourself worrying, if you find yourself in a position where you're distressed, maybe you have family in Ukraine, or maybe you have family even in Russia, because let's face it, this is going to be a lot of suffering for the little people, even in Russia. The big people that make these decisions, they won't suffer. They're protected. They will live like kings. And when it comes to the end of whatever the end will be of these things, the very people that are now sitting on our TVs condemning, the president of Russia and so on, will be the very people that will shake his hand and, completely forget all the things that have happened. The ones that suffer is the little people. So we need to pray for them as well. We need to pray for the Ukrainians, and we need to pray for the Russians. But more importantly, you need to look at yourself, in my opinion anyway, and seek God, and ask God for guidance, and ask God for help, and ask God to help you with the things that you're struggling with. I have in the past videos told you many experiences that I've personally had with God. This is not stories. Experiences that I've had with God would be where God intervened beyond even what the medical geniuses of our time could say. And this would be medically proven miracles that God has performed in my personal life. And I'm sure that if you seek God, God will do the same things in your life. I hope that, this little bit is this little bit of me telling you my personal experience and my personal reality will be of comfort to you. I pray that it would be, and I pray that you find it, you find it a great help in this time of need. Anyway, if you have any questions or anything like that, or any comments, or any of your own experiences, feel free to write them down. I would be more than happy to obviously read them, and if need be, share them. Well, by writing them down in the comments, you're already sharing them with everybody else. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you're enjoying this map. And if you have any comments, like always, feel free to write them down. I would enjoy to read your opinion on the comments that I make, or the game itself, or the map, or my opinions on the map, and you may agree or disagree with me. Or maybe you have certain mods that you want me to have a look at and put a video on. I'll be happy to do so. So yeah, we're at that point where this episode is kind of getting a bit too long, so I'm gonna stop it here. We'll continue our journey on this map on the next episode. So until then, have a wonderful day. As always, you be kind to each other, and I pray that God blesses you, your family, and all your loved ones. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.